And the astronauts, they didn't know how to fly this thing. We didn't know how to fly people in space. I mean, we were like, it was early
Putting things
1961. Yeah, we
Just
did.
trying stuff out.
And they got in there and they didn't know. I mean, the astronauts were like Shepard, he was a playboy, party hardy, Navy hot rod jock. He used to fly the F-106s out of Patrick Air Force Base, come down the beach at night after dark at 150 feet in an afterburner burning in this F-104, man, F-106. But that's the kind of guys they were. They were party guys. They were healthy. They were test pilots. And they stuck him in that damn can with the spacesuit on. The panel was right there. And then the hatch was here. And they would half of the panel would fold back so they could get in and out. So the guy would get in and they'd come in and they'd buckle him up and all that crap. And we're there with the peroxide watching it so it doesn't go out of control, because we had to have a valve to vent the pressure. So they put this astronaut in there and they closed that panel, the instrument panel, put the hatch on. That guy was in there, man. He was stuck in there. I mean, he had a parachute, but I don't know how the hell they ever expected him to get out. There was no way. And as it turned out, the second flight, Gus Grissom, flew successfully, landed successfully, and the helicopter, I think the helicopter already had the hook on the thing. They were going to pull it out of the water, and the hatch blew off. Now, Gus Grissom says he didn't do it, and McDonnell Aircraft couldn't say he did, because we were the contractor. We couldn't contradict the astronaut.
Somebody pushed the button.
Well, there was a big red button there, and somebody pushed the button. I mean, we couldn't figure out how else that hatch blew, because it was a pyrotechnic that was initiated by a percussion. It wasn't an electrical signal. It was a manual deal. He says he didn't. Now, he may have, not even known it, because he was in there. Anyhow, when the thing blew off, the bottom of the hatch was below the waterline of the spacecraft. So that thing was sinking, and it was sinking fast. I mean, water, this much water was coming over the top of that hatch. He luckily, he was a small guy. He somehow got all those belts undone, folded that instrument panel back, and jumped out of the spacecraft. Made a couple of little errors when he did it. He forgot to close the inflow valve for the oxygen in and out. So he had this about a half-inch pipe on his chest open, two of them. Plus he had taken a whole bunch of coins, quarters, for people he was going to give gifts to. He had all those things in his suit, his pressure suit, around his legs, and they were weighting him down. And he's trying to swim. I got a great picture of him in the water, and the helicopter's got the spacecraft trying to pick it up, and all that water wash is just beating him down into the water. And you can see that the helicopter blades are coned up. Same chopper we had in the Army that I flew in all the time. And the pilot knew this was a losing battle. I mean, he was going down and he had full pitch up. And not to mention, he's almost killing Grissom. So he hit the button and dropped the hook on the spacecraft. And old Molly Brown went laboop, and he moved over and pulled Grissom out of the water. I think just pretty much in the nick of time. Nick Grissom was not happy about that whole thing. He was bitching and moaning, and nobody even thought to ask him if he hit that button. I mean, we didn't want to talk to him about it because he was pissed.
In 1961, NASA astronaut Gus Grissom completed the second successful human spaceflight mission for the United States of America. His suborbital flight in the Liberty Bell 7 capsule lasted 15 minutes and 30 seconds and reached an altitude of 103 nautical miles. Everything went according to plan until just after Grissom splashed down in the Atlantic Ocean. While Grissom was waiting on the recovery crew to come get him, the hatch on Liberty Bell 7 unexpectedly blew open and water started pouring into the capsule. Luckily, Grissom made it out alive, just barely, but Liberty Bell 7 sank into the ocean. And that's what happened on this day in space.
Then the heartbreaking finale. As Captain Grissom prepares to leave the Mercury, the explosive bolts let go and blow off the escape hatch cover. While the helicopter tries vainly to keep the capsule afloat, Grissom is forced to swim clear of the whirling blades so that another craft can pick him up. He's underwater for 3 minutes in a tense, real-life drama. Captain Grissom is hauled to safety in a sling, again emphasizing the fact that concern for the astronaut is always of prime importance in our space program.